The sun had just begun to rise over the sprawling plains of 1840, casting a golden light over the vast pastures of a wealthy landowner's estate. This land was home to countless cattle and horses, all watched over by a young, handsome cowboy hired to care for them. He was a man of quiet strength, disciplined, and utterly devoted to his work. Money, fame, or romance had no place in his life. He had come to this place to earn a living, nothing more. Every morning, the landowner's two beautiful daughters would carry trays of food out to the barn, their path taking them past the grazing cattle and the hard-working cowboy. The elder daughter, the one with eyes like the summer sky and a smile that could melt the hardest heart, often found herself lingering a little longer, watching him with a growing sense of admiration. She noticed the way he moved tirelessly tending to the animals, protecting them from thieves, and mowing the tall grass under the blistering sun. There was a quiet nobility in him, a steady purpose that made her heart race. It wasn't long before her admiration blossomed into something deeper, something much like love. She started finding excuses to be near him, laughing at his dry, rare jokes, and watching him work with a sense of awe. But the cowboy, steadfast and disciplined, always kept a polite distance. One afternoon, wiping the sweat from his brow, he said, "I'm here only to work. Love and romance aren't part of my duties. I cannot return feelings that would distract me from my responsibilities." Despite his words, the elder daughter's feelings only grew stronger with each passing day. She saw in him not just a worker, but a man of immense honor, bravery, and integrity. He had once single-handedly saved the landowner's prized horses from a band of rustlers, and she had watched him patiently nurse sick cattle back to health, all without a single word of complaint. Yet, no matter how tender her glances or how warm her smiles, he remained unmoved, bound by a personal promise to stay focused on his work. One fateful afternoon, the younger daughter, who was both curious and impulsive, noticed the unspoken connection, the glances exchanged between her sister and the cowboy. In a complicated mix of jealousy and childish misunderstanding, she ran to their father. Breathlessly, she told him of what she believed was a growing romance between the cowboy and her older sister. The landowner, a proud and fiercely protective man, was immediately incensed. In his mind, no common outsider would dare to win his daughter's heart. He summoned the cowboy at once and, without a moment's hesitation, ordered him off the property for good. The cowboy simply bowed his head, saying nothing in his defense. Duty had been his entire life, but defiance of the landowner's command was never an option he would consider. Days turned into weeks, and life on the estate slowly returned to its rhythm. The elder daughter was left heartbroken, her world suddenly silent and empty. The cowboy, meanwhile, found his only solace in the one thing he loved, the work itself. He moved on, caring for the land and the animals that depended on him, wherever that might be. Yet, destiny has a strange way of revealing the truth when we least expect it. One evening, as the landowner was inspecting his pastures, he overheard his elder daughter quietly lamenting to herself. She spoke of how she had been the one to encourage the misunderstanding, not the cowboy. The truth hit him like a thunderclap. The cowboy had done nothing wrong. In fact, his unwavering loyalty and honor had been mistaken for betrayal. Filled with a profound sense of regret, the landowner mounted his horse and rode out across the vast plains to find the cowboy. But the plains were endless, and the cowboy, ever diligent, was nowhere to be found. He had already gone far beyond the estate's pastures, continuing his life's work, mowing tall grass, tending to sick cattle, and protecting herds from prowling thieves. The landowner searched tirelessly, his guilt growing heavier with every mile, but the cowboy's dedication to duty had taken him farther than anyone could follow. The story of the cowboy became a quiet legend among the ranchers in the territory. Tales of his tireless work ethic spread from one campfire to another. They spoke of how he cut grass under the scorching sun without rest, tended to every sick animal as if it were his own, and fought off thieves to protect the livestock in his charge. He became known as a man whose heart was bound not by romance, but by a powerful sense of responsibility. His name was whispered with a deep, quiet respect across the plains. In the end, the landowner learned a hard, painful truth. Sometimes honor and duty outweigh the calls of desire and affection. The cowboy, steadfast and unwavering, had remained true to his calling, to his very essence, and though the elder daughter's heart ached with a quiet sorrow, she carried with her the memory of a man who loved nothing more than to work, to care, and to protect. It was a rare kind of love in a world that often mistook devotion for indifference. The sun set over the plains, painting the horizon in magnificent hues of fire and gold. Somewhere out there, the cowboy continued his work. Tending his herd, guarding the land, and embodying the quiet heroism of a man who loved only duty and nothing, not even love, could ever sway him from it. If you enjoyed this tale from the Old West, make sure to hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to Wild Tales Storytelling for more stories of love, dust, and destiny. Until next time, rider, keep your heart brave and your spirit wild.